Welcome to OSBATV. It is a doubleheader here at Bill Crothers. The girls' game just finished up, and it's the men's game getting ready to go. The BCSS Colts on the boys' side is taking on Father Henry Carr. Right now, Henry Carr is 5-9 in the season, tied right now for 7th place. Bill Crothers is 9-1, just losing that first game against AI, only by 6 points at the beginning of the season. They're tied for first right now.
Yeah, absolutely, and also the Bill Crothers Colts feeling a whole new wave of confidence after toppling Orangeville Prep in OSBA action, facing a very scrappy team. And I say scrappy because the last time these two teams met up, Kelsey, it was actually a bit of a scrappy affair.
It was. Last time they met up, it was Bill Crothers that came out on top, 111-100. That was February 8th. Paolo in that one had 32 points for Henry Carr.
And Paolo, though, being the pure scorer that he is in this league, continuing to do what he does best with another 30-point game against one of the better teams in this league.
There we go. The last game that Father Henry Carr played was against Ridley. Unfortunately, lost that one 94-90. It was Dubrio who led the way with 22 points. Griffith followed closely with 20, and it was Paolo and Campbell that finished up the double-digit scoring with 14 apiece.
A lot of offensive talent on this team, really, to build on what you're saying, Kelsey.
On the other end, Bill Crothers' last game was the same day, February 22nd. They won that one 106-98. Jaden Koch had 30, Jacob Frazier 23, Emmanuel Miller 20, and then Steph Smith, after having two 30-piece games in a row, finished that one with 15. There's Smith there, just long on that attempt. Coming back the other way now is John Akende.
You can see
Stolen.
Sorry, go ahead, Kelsey, go ahead.
On the other end, Jacob Frazier, a little finger roll into the basket is good to tie the game up at 2.
Well, you want to see, this is going to be the key matchup here, Kelsey, is going to be Stephen Smith versus John Akende. Two guys of similar size, similar athleticism, same kind of tenacity going to the basket. It's going to be quite a matchup to watch.
McNish dishes it out after the offensive rebound. That one is no good. It's BCSS now. Stolen, Akende
right there. Once again, those active hands, him and Stephen Smith, as I said, almost on the same level. There's Jaden Koch.
Big block there for Koch, but able to put it back in is Campbell for Father Henry Carr. It's Frazier up top now for Bill Crothers. Drives middle, pulls it up. Great defense there by Campbell, but Steph Smith able to get it right back and up to Emmanuel Miller for the jam.
That's what a find right there as Stephen Smith gets his defender off of his feet, sees his teammate right there ready for the open pass. Easy layup, easy dunk. Easiest assist he's going to get in this game so far.
Akende now up top. Swings it down low. Tons of arc on that shot from Clark, but it is good for 2. That was probably the highest shot, almost hit the roof there, and on the other end,
Absolutely.
It's Bill Crothers that ties it right back up.
Well said there, Shaquan Clark. We've seen him pull off some highlights like that in these games of the week whenever he's had the opportunity. He makes the most of the basket when he gets the ball.
There's McNish from the mid-range, just rims out. Steph Smith now going 100 miles an hour. A beautiful assist there. Down to number 11, Jawan Beckford. They take the lead now, Ryan, for the first time in the game, 8-6.
It's McNish.
McNish gets it stripped, but it stays in the possession of Henry Carr. Paolo shot no good from the corner. Emmanuel Miller now slowing it down for his team. It's Steph Smith calling something for this home team. 13 seconds on the shot clock. He gets it in now to Miller. Miller, a little reverse against 2, and it's good on the left-hand side.
And that's one thing that Bill Crothers definitely has going for them, is a little bit of a size advantage. The athleticism is almost even here when you look at both of these teams, but when you've got that little extra reach to finish at the rim, you're going to be able to have a slight advantage every time.
Akende up top now. Pulls up right in front of Smith. It's nothing but air on that one, just long, but there is an offensive rebound. Unfortunately, when he grabs it, Ryan steps out of bounds. It's going to be Colts ball on the baseline.
Yeah, it's all about awareness there, and you forget how big some of these guys are. It's when they take a step, it's a big step.
Steph Smith gets down the court in about 3 of those steps. The finger roll is no good, but he gets his own offensive rebound, goes up, can't connect, but he will go to the charity stripe now for 2.
And Jaden Koch's even having a laugh about it, looking at Smith like, I was right there. Where was the pass? And I think Smith just didn't see it there. maybe he did see Coke and just didn't feel like he could get that pass there accurately without it being intercepted, which is a very real thing when you're dealing with the interior defense of Father Henry Carr as Smith knocks down that first one. Because really, Kelsey, this team is a scrappy team, and they have to be. Their forwards and their centers are listed at 6'5", 6'6", and in this league, that's a bit undersized. You have to be willing to do all the little things on defense to be able to be successful if you're an undersized team in this league.
Well said, Ryan. Now it's Michael Paulo on the 45, another one of those undersized guys, but he's able to get it done time and time again. Look at that jump shot right there from the elbow. It's good to bring them to 8. Miller, a beautiful pass out to the corner, just long. Paulo now bringing it back up. Drives, little hesitation, the floater right down the middle. 2-for-2 for him, back-to-back baskets.
He's not the biggest, strongest, or fastest in this league, but man, does he have a nose for the basket.
He is crafty as any other player could possibly be. A deep bomb there by Jaden Koch is no good, and it's John Akende now for Henry Carr. Gets it out to McNish. It's those popcorn fingers we talk about every time on this broadcast. A little bit too buttery out there in the corner. It's going to be Colts ball.
Yeah, well said there. It was a great feed there in McNish. That's one of those plays there, and we've seen it a few times, Kelsey, in this league, where guys are ready to make the move before they even receive the ball, and I think that's just exactly what happened there.
Emmanuel Miller drives left, a little Euro step is a pretty finish. Connects now for 14.
Miller had a huge game last week against Lincoln Prep. I mean, once again, this is a guy who's much the same way as Jaden Koch, very athletic, able to hit an outside jump shot when he needs to, but attacking the rim is his specialty.
Ended the game last week with 20 points. There's a big block by Jaden Koch, but it is Father Henry Carr who takes the possession. John Akende from the corner. Akende just long, a big rebound there by Shaquan Clark.
And that's how you respond when you see a big block like that. You just keep your composure.
And the answer, it goes unanswered actually by Steph Smith. Just over 4.5 minutes left to go in the first. Here's Akende up top, swings it to Campbell. Campbell able to really square his shoulders in the air there, but just can't get it high enough. On the other end, there's going to be a foul plus the bucket. Jawan Beckford with the N1.
Yeah, no, that was a very good challenge there by Beckford, but unfortunately a very impressive finish though for Bill Crothers.
Couple substitutions for the BCSS Colts. It's number 13 making his way into the game. That's Cole Lawrence, as well as Jamal Mayali, who was out actually for the past couple of weeks due to injury, but he is back in full force.
Mayali, a very scary shooter when he gets hot. That's something Father Henry Carr is going to have to keep in mind and keep on with their tough rotation on defenses. Once again, this is a team that's a little bit smaller, but my goodness, are they quick on the perimeter.
Akende at the 45. Great defense there by the Colts. Akende re-attacks, dishes it out now to Campbell. Campbell picks up his dribble. Over to Akende now, just inches from the sideline there, Ryan. 3 seconds on the shot clock. Akende with the step back. It goes up, but it is no good. Colts ball now on the baseline.
Unfortunately, that's what happened there. There's some great defense, great team defense by Bill Crothers, forcing a tough pass, really isolating the ball when the dribble stopped there, and that's something you really need to do against a team like Father Henry Carr. Their offense flows through their guards, and if you can trap them and force them into difficult positions, you're going to be successful defensively.
They got a substitution on just seconds ago. Shea Brown makes his way onto the pavement, the hardwood for the first time.
It feels like pavement, Kelsey, the way these guys are playing.
I guess so. There's a bucket there for Jawan Beckford of the Colts. Shea Brown now up top, over to Paulo. Swings it to Akende. Akende now in the corner. Drives a pullback, 10 seconds on the shot clock. That one just to the right.
I'm not a big fan of that shot, especially when you have such a great defender on you. You got to try and create a little bit more space than that if you're going to take that shot.
Mayali now drives, splits the defenders off the back rim. Shooters roll, and it's good.
Mayali showing he's more than just a shooter, establishing right away that he can attack the rim, and that's something Father Henry Carr is going to need to keep in mind if they're moving forward in this game.
Here's McNish. Drives right, dishes out. The extra pass to Brown. He re-drives here, but can't connect. That great defense by BCSS, but now they've got 5 seconds on the shot clock. There's going to be a traveling violation. It's going to be Colts ball once again on the baseline.
Colts got away with one there. Let's make no mistake about it, as it was a wide open look. You had 3 blue shirts around the rim, but unfortunately guys getting a little too excited, catching it on their awkward pivot foot, and when you move it like that, you have to dribble the basketball.
Couple more substitutions in for Father Henry Carr. Number 32, Brandon Sacchi, and number 3, Carlo Dubria. Dubria ended the last game that they played against Ridley with 22 points.
Dubria actually was on fire in that game, hitting 4 straight three-pointers. One of them from about as far out as this volleyball line if you're watching on the internet right now.
That's where the red starts.
Exactly. Where that red starts, he was hitting them right in those corners, and it was a sight to see, Kelsey.
I'm sad I missed it.
I know. I missed you.
21-12 now, just over 2 minutes left to go in the first. Dubria now into McNish. McNish, a great move into the basket, and it's cleaned up there by Sacchi.
I like that. McNish, he's a guy who, he's not tall, but my goodness, is he strong and wide and athletic, and he's not afraid to take it to anybody in this league, as you can see right there.
Emmanuel Miller on the other end, though, Ryan, is one of those tall guys, and he uses his length there to keep the ball nice and high and put it off the backboard.
And that's what it is. You got to use what genetics gave you there. You're going to finish with that long arm right there. Go ahead and do it.
Shea Brown out to Sacchi. Sacchi with the jumpy. It's no good. Miller gets it up now to Beckford. Beckford is good.
Yeah, and unfortunately, that's the end result of you settling for mid-range jumpers when you know you could attack the basket. It results in a quick basket there for the Colts. They love to run, Kelsey.
Not running right now. They're set in their defensive possession here, and it's 10 seconds left to go on the shot clock. Shea Brown, almost a little bit of a force there. Rattles out, though, close. Gets it back, though, on defense with a steal. Now he's going to look to go coast to coast. Still has it here. He's driving baseline. Goes up and under, gets it into McNish, but a big block by Lawrence.
Fortunately, McNish, he's got to be ready there.
There was a shot clock reset there, and nothing touched the rim, so the ref caught it. He's going to put a couple more seconds onto the shot clock. They're not going to have that 14 seconds. A couple substitutions here for the Colts. Number 15 and number 8 are making their way on. That's A.J. Goldburn and Jaden Koch.
That's one thing there. It doesn't matter how fast or how quickly your guard is moving. You have to be ready to receive the ball whenever he's going to give it to you in the post there, and that's something McNish, unfortunately, just was caught napping in that last offensive set.
Shea Brown puts it up from deep after he realizes the shot clock was only at 2. Close, but no cigar on that one. Jaden Koch makes a quick entrance into the game. It's good for 2.
Bill Crothers is making Father Henry Carr pay for every single mistake they're making so far in this first quarter.
And they'll have to go mistakeless from here on out. It's Sacchi down low. Doubled. Sacchi picks up his dribble. There's going to be a foul there on Jaden Koch, and it's going to be Father Henry Carr on the baseline. Now, Ryan, only a 4-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock for the rest of this first.
Once again, we'll see if we can get an accurate shot off here as Clythus Griffith comes into the game for Michael Paolo. He's a drop-dead shooter, so don't be surprised if you see the ball get to him for the last shot.
Griffith, like we said before in the last game, ended with 20 points as Sacchi puts in an easy one to bring them up to 16 in the last 14 seconds.
And I believe that was actually his first start of the season, too. Getting that opportunity from Coach, making the most of it.
There we go. Here's Steph Smith now. Looking to take on Dubria, puts it up for the alley-oop. That one just won't fall. Shea Brown from deep. It actually looked almost okay from this angle, but it's way too strong. Hitting the gym a little too much on that one. And at the end of the first, it's BCSS 27, Father Henry Carr 16.
Yeah, absolutely. And just some closing thoughts on that first quarter, really. You can't sum it up any more than Bill Crothers taking advantage of any missed shots and just off and running, much in the same way that we're used to seeing a lot of the top teams in this league using their athleticism to get quick buckets. I could imagine at least 20 of the 27 points that we saw in that first quarter, Kelsey, had to have came off a layup or a fast break layup of that sorts, whereas Father Henry Carr having to work a little bit harder to get their points in this game so far.
You know what my closing statement will be going into the second, Ryan? Shea Brown, not quite like Father Henry Carr alumni Dylan Brooks, who got 2 buzzer beaters lately. Tried for that buzzer beater just right there, that one. Yep. Not as successful as Brooks. Guys, we'll be back to start the second quarter in just a few seconds. into second quarter action here at the end of the first, 27-16. The Colts lead the way over the Henry Carr Crusaders. It is BCSS ball to bring it in and start the second quarter.
Yeah, we'll see now if Father Henry Carr can really lock down defensively and prevent those transition buckets that were plaguing them so much in that first quarter, Kelsey.
AJ Goulburn will play PG to start off the second quarter. Dribbles by his defender, gets it out to Frazier. Frazier chucks it up. That one no good. A great box out there by Shea Brown allows Cole Lawrence to not be able to put both hands on that one. It's knocked out of bounds, and it's going to be Colts ball on the baseline.
Unfortunately, that's going to be the biggest knock on Cole Lawrence moving through this first bit, as Clytus Griffith there able to knock one loose again. Is unfortunately, you know, it's incredible the height that he's at right now, but he definitely is going to have to put on a little bit of weight to just kind of be that big dominant that Bill Crothers is hoping to get out of him at some point in his high school career.
Here's Lawrence up top now. Gets it knocked away there by Brandon Sackey, and it's 9:40 left to go in the second. Colts ball now close to the half-court mark. 11 seconds on the shot clock. Lawrence up top. Being guarded closely by Sackey. Gets it over to Goulburn. Goulburn, a beautiful little crossover there and off the back rim. Once again, that shooter's roll allows them almost 30 points now.
A very impressive finish there. No doubt about that.
McNish up top. Drives, almost makes it look easy, just can't get it up high enough. A big steal here by Dubria. A beautiful pass into Griffith. That one just won't connect. Jaden Koch with a big board.
Yeah, big board there, and that's just a lot of arm for Griffith to try and finish in the transition.
Here's Frazier now out to Goulburn. He drives, dishes out to Lawrence with the jam.
And that's the kind of Cole Lawrence that Bill Crothers needs to see consistently, getting that inside look. And those guys aren't afraid. They're going to try and find him every single chance that they get when they see a little bit of opening for him.
Dubria from the corner, slings it back. Another huge board by Jaden Koch.
There's one thing both teams haven't really taken advantage of yet, is the fact that the three-point line in this gym is a little bit closer in than what they're used to playing at. So, and considering the fact that both of these schools have a shorter three-point line in their gymnasium, it's surprising to see that we haven't seen more three-point attempts.
Maybe they're just getting warmed up for now. They're really working it out in the paint so far in this first half. Here's Shea Brown, comes off a screen, rejects the screen after a big steal there by Jaden Koch. You could see the jersey pull actually from here, but I don't know if that's going to be the foul call, but it is going to be Colts ball on the sideline. You can see Coach Charles talking to the referee right now saying, I could see the jersey. You must have seen the jersey pull there.
I think the whole gym saw it. But once again, the whistle came right away, so really, what else is there to say about it?
Goulburn splits defenders. There's going to be a foul call here. This one will go to Dubria. No shot on that one, but it is going to be Colts ball on the sideline.
I don't know about that one, to be perfectly honest. I saw a lot of hands on the basketball, but not a lot of contact, to be perfectly honest.
8 minutes, 18 seconds left to go in the first half. Lawrence has got it up top. Great defense there by Sackey. Lawrence gets it right back. A little give and go action. Picks up his dribble. Unfortunately, turns it over. Fortunate here for the Crusaders, though. McNish is on his defensive game today. Here's Shea Brown now, setting something up for this visiting team. 15 seconds on the shot clock. Drives right into Scandria. And now it's McNish. Drives, dishes back out. It's a big man to big man, and it's good for the mid-range.
That's a big bucket there for Father Henry Carr. If they're going to live by the mid-range, they got to make sure that they're making some of those shots.
Another big steal here by the guy who has come on his defensive prowl tonight. McNish gets the steal and the bucket on the other end.
And I like that play a lot, Kelsey, because guys aren't wasting time. They're pushing the ball right up to get to the open man. And even though Clytus, the defense had to make the rotation over to Griffith, but because of the fact that they were already pushing the ball, McNish was already at the basket, so it's an easy pass for him to go in for the layup. The second you hold on to the ball longer than you really should, which is something we actually saw near the end of that first quarter for Father Henry Carr, is the quicker that the defense is going to be able to make the adjustments. And when you're able to cover the ball handler, it's not happening.
Here's Steph Smith up top. He drives, gets it stolen from him, but Colts keep it in. Frazier from the corner is good for 3 points now at 33. just over 7 minutes. It's Shea Brown who drives, puts it up off the backboard. Steph Smith gets the rebound. He's going full force ahead. Dubria able to get his hand on it, but it goes right into the possession of Frazier, just short on that one. Brown now coming back the other way. Fast break after fast break here. There's finally a foul call to put an end to it, and Henry Carr is going to go to the line now for 2.
And unfortunately, Kelsey, you're not going to see many foul calls in this situation because when both teams are running the way that they are, you're going to see a lot of that movement.
It's going to be Shea Brown who goes to the line now, Ryan, for 2 shots.
And interesting to pull up here as well is the fact that getting back to the pace of this game, this is nothing new for both of these teams as they clearly had that kind of game the last time these two faced off. There's a lot of athleticism on the court right now. And when you have guys that are able to be as offensively dominant as both of these teams are and able to take care of the ball the way that they are, and also, even more importantly, how tough the defense is and how guys are so smart at being able to stay laterally quick enough to stay in front of their defenders, you're just not going to see that many calls even when there's body contact like that because the guys play such great defense. And I think that's attributed to both of these coaching staffs and the amount of emphasis that they put on covering guards in this league.
Speaking of guards here, 1 for Father Henry Carr will make his way on, and it's Michael Palo who comes back on for the Crusaders. Steph Smith taking his time getting up the court, passes it off to Emmanuel Miller. Great defense there by Father Henry Carr. A beautiful take there by Emmanuel Miller. Count that, plus he'll go to the line now for 2.
I'm not a big fan there of the defense, the one-on-one defense. First of all, to start it all off, the ball's on the ground. If you see the ball's on the ground, the guy's having a hard time dribbling it, then you need to attack the basketball. You don't need to attack the guy who's dribbling the basketball. Then on top of that, to set it all up, he allows a guy like Emmanuel Miller to set up his dribble so he can attack the basket. You don't do that against a guy like that. I don't care how good of a defender you think you are. If you allow him, especially when you face him up, you don't even cut down an angle. You're trying to face him straight up and think that your athleticism is going to match his when he's attacking and you're moving backwards. You're never going to get that defensive stop anytime against a player of that athleticism.
His work gets up top now, brings it out, gets it back over to Dubria. Dubria, a beautiful pass there into Griffith, but there's going to be a foul called on that backdoor cut, and it's going to be Crusaders ball on the baseline.
That's a very smart cut there by Griffith, but an even better look by Dubria, able to thread the needle there and get it into him, and that's something you're not expecting to see from a player like Griffith when you consider his height. I mean, he's literally standing at the same height as a guy like Stephen Smith, but he's coming off as a shooting guard. It's interesting to see Father Henry Carr's shooting guards have that kind of tenacity going to the rim.
Another beautiful cut here by Father Henry Carr, but Ricketts just can't put that one in. Gets his own rebound off the feet of Jaden Koch. A great second effort there, and it's going to be Crusaders ball with 24 seconds on the shot clock on the baseline now. That's
just good awareness right there, Kelsey, making sure you're up in the air. If you're going to find a guy, make sure you're hitting it off the shin. That's one of the toughest places to catch it if you're a defender.
Sorry, only not 24 seconds, only 14 seconds now on the shot clock. And yeah, Ryan, I've seen that so many times when people try and keep that in, they get it right into the chest or something and they just take it and go the other way.
Absolutely. And even if you throw it at the quad, like it's right there in front of your hands, like you can still have enough time to grab it. But if you throw it down to the shin, that's just pure bone. So even the buoyancy of the ball, it's going to bounce off.
But if you get it to the foot, you get a reset shot clock.
That's a good point. So I don't know. I'm just happy I was able to use my calendar word of the day, buoyancy.
Oh, okay. Beautiful. Take notes, students. Here's John Akende now. Bring it back up. Gets it over now to Griffith. He's going to go one-on-one with Steph Smith now. Great defense by the Vermont commit. Michael Palo slings one up. There's going to be a foul on the rebound here.
That was a tough matchup there. But at the same time, kicking it out to Paolo. But once again, I'm not a huge fan of that kind of shot from Paolo. He did not have to fade away on that shot. He could have easily just got himself nice and set and get ready to shoot it.
Great defense there by the Colts. Getting rewarded on the other end as they put that bucket in for 39.
Easy bucket there in the transition. Once again, making Father Henry Carr pay as they're trying to work for every basket that they get.
Beckford has had quite a first half so far in this game. You can tell he feels comfortable in this gym. Here he is on defense going against Paolo. Paolo finds himself open, a floater. Beautiful shot there, just rims out. There's going to be a traveling violation, and it's going to stay with Henry Carr.
Paolo got away with one there, and it's those kind of shots. Unfortunately, when you're dealing with a team who has that kind of ISO offense at times with a guy like Paolo or Shea Brown, you've got to be able to make sure that you're taking care of it.
Akende out to Griffith. 22 seconds on the shot clock. Griffith drives down the right-hand line, finds himself open, and off the glass now brings them into their 20s.
That's a player right there making a decision, knowing exactly what he wants to do with the ball.
Steph Smith doing the exact same thing on the exact same spot. This one won't fall for him, but he will go to the charity stripe for 2.
Yes, absolutely. Stephen Smith, he's a master at finding the open spaces in the lane, especially at this level, and he's making full use of it. So even when he's gets a step on his defender, you know he's either going to get a bucket or he's going to get fouled.
Steph Smith can't connect for the second one.
This is a lineup Father Henry Carr is going to need to take advantage of here. You've got a lot of smaller guards on the floor. That's not the shot you want to take, though, to be honest.
A deep 3 here is no good. Steph Smith comes up with that rebound. He's going about 20,000 miles an hour, gets it in to number 15, Jaden Koch, who makes it look easy as he flings his body up and makes it count for 41. Akende on the other end, a beautiful pass into number 14. Ricky Ricketts on Henry Carr, and that was a beautiful play.
Yep, offense is not an issue here. It's defense now, and just as I say it, here we go.
He pokes it out of the defender. Michael Paolo finds himself open on the left-hand side. He connects.
Great effort there by Paolo.
Here's Steph Smith now slowing things down for his team, putting his hand out saying, you know what, guys, we got to calm down here. The fast stuff is more Father Henry Carr style.
Yep.
Beckford can't connect from the corner here. Here's Akende now to Griffith. Slings it back just off the back rim there. A big board here by Colts. Jaden Koch now on the other end.
Ooh, that's pretty. That's pretty.
Behind the back, gets his... it almost looked like a, what's that called in track and field? Hop, step, jump?
Yeah, the triple jump.
Triple jump. What am I doing? Michael Paolo now connecting on the other end.
That's a good finish there by Paolo as well, showing off that length.
Just over 3.5 minutes left to go in the first half. Steph Smith getting frustrated with the pesky defense, I'll say, by Griffith there, and he's going to drive all the way. And there's a foul there on Griffith as Steph Smith puts on the motor, goes 0 to 100 right down the middle, and it's going to be Colts ball now on the baseline.
One thing I'm not a huge fan of, though, to be perfectly honest, is the defender looking to the referee for some sort of foul as there's a steal.
Griffith now looks to go coast to coast, passes it out to Paolo. Paolo puts up the floater. No, he gets the pass into Ricketts. He just can't connect for that one. Here's Jaden Koch now on the other end. Right off the foot of Rickett. It's going to stay with Colts, coming back the other way as Cole Lawrence comes back into the game.
And just one thing really briefly I want to bring up is when we had this exchange right here between Griffith and Smith, as the defender, it's your job to defend the ball. Don't worry about fouls being called on you, because that's one thing Griffith did, looking at the official, trying to get a call. And in that moment, he looked at him. Stephen Smith did his crossover and attack to the basket and blew by him. You cannot allow yourself to get mentally knocked down like that.
Jaden Koch from downtown Toronto. That's a deep 3 for the home team.
Huge shot there from Koch, and that's something we've seen him capable of at times.
Campbell pulls up for the mid-range. That one, he just couldn't square his shoulders in time. Got up there a little bit too quick. Beckford on the other end is good.
It's shots like that that can kill your offense. You have to make sure that if you're going to take a shot like that, there's got to be no other choice.
Akende finds himself open, and it's Campbell who puts it in with the tip.
Great finish there, and that's one thing Father Henry Carr does best. Their half-court offense, though, it still needs some work. They got to be a little bit more cleaner with that. Steph
Smith could have been a highlight reel there, just off the mark. It's Father Henry Carr ball on the baseline. 2 minutes, 22 seconds left to go in the first half.
Will we get a reply? That's what I'm waiting to see.
The reply to the air ball, or you want to
Yeah,
reply
the reply
through?
to the air ball. I want to see that.
Here's a Kende. Over to Paolo. Paolo gets it swiped by Jaden Koch. Koch having quite a night tonight. Gets it up to Steph Smith. Smith into Emmanuel Miller with the slam. Paolo now. Just under 2 minutes left to go. Comes off a screen behind the back. Great little dizzle there, but Campbell just loses it out of bounds. It's going to be Colts ball.
And unfortunately, that's the toughest challenge that we face that Father Henry Carr faces, is just setting up their half-court offense. They're great on the run, but every single time they've set up their half-court offense so far in this game, Kelsey, all I've seen is a lot of unnecessary shots.
Jacob Frazier, I heard that slap from here. That one is going to go to Dan Kazumba.
Actually, I think it's Gareth Bowe.
Jacob Frazier now at the line for 2 shots. First one is good. Frazier ended the last game they played with 23 points in that win versus Thornley.
There it is, making that second shot. And once again, Bill Crothers making the most of every opportunity to put points on the board. We'll see if Father Henry Carr can do the same in this last minute and a half.
Shea Brown drives right over 2 defenders. It's good.
That's a tough finish. That's literally willing the basketball into the rim, Kelsey.
Jacob Frazier now gets it back over to Koch. Koch from beyond that FIBA 3. It's just long. A big athletic board here from Shea Brown. Brown right down the middle, and even more athleticism showed here by Emmanuel Miller with the block. Shea Brown not happy with the no call on that one.
Unfortunately, though, there was nothing to call. You see him attacking to the rim. He had both defenders behind him, and you've got 2 extremely long arms up to block the shot. When you come in at that kind of speed, you've got to expect to fall at some point. Or stop, I guess you could say.
Michael Paolo out to John Akende. He drives baseline, gets both defenders up, but they're able to put a hand on it.
Yep.
Here's Cole Lawrence now, looks back, and there's going to be a foul from behind on that one. That's a tough foul. Cole Lawrence, though, gets up right away, and he's going to go to the line for 2.
Gareth Bowe, he's a new addition to this Father Henry Carr team. Looking like he's trying to make a couple statements here. He's only been in for about 30 seconds, and he's already got 2 fouls on him. But once again, if he's on the floor, no easy buckets to be found, even for a guy like Cole Lawrence.
I think this is a good time, Ryan. Now, we talked about Father Henry Carr alumni. Let's quickly talk about Bill Crothers alumni quickly. Trey Bell Hands just got named just a couple days ago on February 27th, American East Player of the Year. He's playing now for Vermont. Led them to their first ever 16-0 league play when he averaged 11.3 points a game, 3.9 assists per game.
And really, there, even to build on that, I can imagine that the University of Vermont is going to be even more excited to have a player like Stephen Smith. You can see that connection is starting to build now between Bill Crothers and organizations of that level, especially Vermont. And really, it's a program on the rise, Kelsey. And when you see those kind of records go up, look to see them make some big noise moving forward.
Shea Brown now at the 45. Drives middle, goes up with the finger roll. It's just off the mark. Coming back the other way now. It's knocked out of bounds. The referees are saying that's going to go Colts' way.
And unfortunately, once again, as great as an athletic move that was by Shea Brown, the lack of involvement from your teammates, it can make it a little bit tough to stay engaged to make sure that you're there to get that rebound. I'd like to see a little bit more set plays run from Father Henry Carr, really, to be honest, especially when you're down by 20. What do you have to lose? Because running with them isn't working.
And as they try and run with them there, that one's going to be called for a foul. Jacob Frazier now will go back to the line for 2 more shots. Shea Brown just coming to the referee saying, very politely, it seems from here,
no,
what did I
absolutely.
do wrong on that one?
Yep.
But it did look like he was kind of holding Jacob Frazier as he was making the cut, trying to get that in bounds.
And really, that's the kind of player that Brown seems to be, though. Like, we've had conversations with him in the past. He always seems to be well put together, just figuring out, okay, what ways are working for me and what isn't. And I think he's learning from that even right now by slowing down the offense.
24 seconds left to go in the first half. 12 seconds to go on the shot clock. Brown brings it right back up, looking to take all the time that he possibly can for this last possession for the Crusaders. Kicks it out to Akende. Akende re-drives, dishes it out to Michael Paulo for the deep three. It goes right off. An offensive rebound here by Campbell, just kind of capitalizing on the unawareness of the Bill Crother Colts, thinking that the buzzer was for the half and not just for the shot clock.
No,
Campbell now will go to the line for two.
That literally caught everyone off guard on the
Not
Bill
Campbell.
Crothers side. Yeah, absolutely. There you go. But it's interesting to know, even when he got the ball, everyone you could hear from Father Henry Carr going, shoot, shoot.
And that he did.
That's right.
Can't connect on that first foul shot there. 4.7 seconds left to go. An offensive rebound here. Bo puts it up. Just doesn't fall. Another rebound, though, for Cole Lawrence to end the first half. The Bill Crother Colts are leading the way by 20, 53-33 over the Father Henry Carr Crusaders.
And let's just leave it at this, Kelsey. That first half roundup, I think it's pretty simple. I think both of you and I are in agreement of Father Henry Carr not making the most of their opportunities in their half-court offense. Bill Crothers taking advantage of it and running up and down the floor at will. And that's really what's built up their 20-point lead so far in this game.
Well said, Ryan. And at the end of it, guys, you got 10 more minutes. We'll see you for third quarter action.
Lincoln Prep's Emily Martindale. So, just wanted to talk to you a little bit about the game. So the last time you guys played Bill Crothers was a different outcome and they beat you. What were the adjustments you had to make coming into tonight's game?
I think when we were coming into this game, we were just like more focused. Like we wanted to be mentally sound, and on our defense, we just didn't want to get any like easy buckets like they did last time.
You had a great individual performance. You really provided a lot of energy for your team by getting your hand on a lot of loose balls, offensive rebounds. Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
I think it was just, instead of boxing out, I was just boxing out the other players and getting the boards easily and tracking down the ball and just attacking the basket like when I got the chance every time.
As the inaugural season of the OSBA really comes to an end, what are some focal points for your team?
Well, a focal point would obviously be winning the championship, but I think just getting better as a team and communicating offense and definitely more offensive and defensive rebounds.
Congrats on the win, Em, and continue the good work.
Thank you.
Leon Say checking in here. We have Justina King, who scored 18 points in a losing effort today to Lincoln Prep. Justina, talk to us about what the game plan was.
We definitely knew that Lincoln Prep was definitely a team that would be a very hustly team. They would get all the 50-50 balls. We knew that we really had to push, and they outworked us in that aspect of the game. So that was one thing that we definitely came into the game knowing that we had to do, but didn't execute it ourselves. Well, we have some very key players missing on our team, but in practice it's kind of tough because we have a lot of less numbers, so we're doing a couple 4-on-4s, so not a lot of gameplay, but we're trying our best to do everything that we can to prepare for games with what we have.
I wanted to say congratulations on your invitation to Canada Basketball's March Camp. How has playing for Jody Graham, one of our national team coaches, helped you prepare for that?
It's definitely very helpful. She's taught me so much about the different style of play, like coming from different coaches. So her style of play is really helping me develop into the Canada basketball style.
Okay, good luck in your tryouts, and forward to seeing you for the rest of the season.
Thank you.
Junior, you guys pulled this one out over the Vaughn Voyagers, 105-88. How do you feel coming after this one?
We all executed. We played great defense as a team, and we just all worked harder and we put out the win.
You are known around the league as the triple-double machine. You fell just short here tonight, 17 points, 6 and 7. How do you do it?
I just work hard and do what coach tells me, and get my teammates open shots, and they do the rest.
All right, now your team, again, like I mentioned, scored 105 points. A lot of your guys in double digits tonight. Who came out to play?
We all came out to play. You know, coach makes us run hard in practice, so as soon as we get the ball, we just push the break, and everyone gets the opportunities.
You guys had a lot of your bench players play a lot of minutes for you today. Let's talk about them for a second. Guys like Brett, guys like Thomas and Julian.
Just young guys learning the system. You know, they're going to be great in a couple of years when we leave, so we got to get them in early so when it's their time to be the starters, they'll be ready to put us on the map.
All right, you got another game of the week. You guys next week against Father Henry Carr. What are we going to expect to see?
We're going to work hard and hopefully pull out the W like usually.
All right, congratulations for tonight. Welcome back to second half action here. Kelsey Wright-Johnson, Ryan Greco bringing you the entire game here. Guys, ending the first half, it is Michael Paolo leading the way for his team. Right now, Father Henry Carr with 10 points. On the other end, it's Emmanuel Miller leading the entire game, and his team, obviously, with 13 points, and Juwan Beckford with 11.
And Emmanuel Miller showing us some great feats of athleticism in that first half, Kelsey, with some impressive finishes at the rim.
Here's the other team for now, though. It's Father Henry Carr, Michael Paolo from deep. That one, nothing but net. Ryan, they have come out so far in this second half, ready to rumble.
One thing I want to see, though, more than anything from Father Henry Carr is multiple passes before you make those kind of shots, because, unfortunately, if you're feeling it, it's great. If not, it can be frustrating.
Koch looking for the answer here. It's nothing but net. So far in this second half, we are 2 for 2 with Beyond the Arc action.
Yep, guys coming out fresh, ready to go. Very comfortable with their settings now, so we'll see what that results in the second half.
John Akende over to Paolo. Paolo in the corner. Gets it to McNish. Right back out to Paolo. Can he do it back to back? Oh, it just rims out there. A big board here for Jaden Koch. Gets it over to Frazier. Frazier into Emmanuel Miller. Give him now 15 points on the night.
Unfortunately, we saw the defense get back, but it didn't matter. The transition there and the athleticism finishing at the rim, the court vision. Bill Crothers, they're firing on all cylinders right now, showing why they're in the top half of the league.
McNish drives down the middle. A big block there by Emmanuel Miller, doing it on offense and defense. Steph Smith, though, can't connect. Miller tips it back. That one no good. Eventually gets his own rebound, brings it back together. 2 hands, 2 feet, puts it up off the glass for 2.
How about Miller there, not giving up on the play and just showing off that incredible length that he has in athleticism. He was a pogo stick there, Kelsey.
He's got 17 points now on the night of the 60. Michael Paolo, nothing but air on that one. It goes right out of bounds. It's going to be Colts ball on the baseline.
And that's one thing that we've seen from Paolo all season is one of his kind of deficits, I guess you could say, weaknesses. I don't like to use the word weakness, but sometimes he gets a little bit too trigger happy when he gets those shots. That's something he could have easily just pump faked and got around his defender and maybe even found still a 3-point shot available. But unfortunately, this time around, he tried to put up a tough shot, and as a result, Bill Crothers making the most of it on the offensive end.
It's Emmanuel Miller who has come out hot in this third quarter. He'll go to the line now for 2. Right now, Ryan sitting at 17 points.
This is Miller's game, but you know what? This has been Miller's month. The month of February was good to him. A lot of very impressive games, and also when you add in as well last week's game of the week, Miller was really the guy that a lot of people were talking about at the end of that game with a lot of impressive finishes over a very talented Lincoln Prep squad that's just as athletic as this Bill Crothers team.
You mentioned him the month of February. It's actually March now, but in the last game, he had 20 points, ending it as the second leading scorer for his team, or third leading, excuse me. A bunch of guys in the 20s for his team, one guy in the 30s. John Akende, he's going to be called with the travel. Just one too many hop steps there.
Yeah, unfortunately, once again, we're seeing guys looking to push out to the perimeter at this point. And it seems like with that substitution, Kelsey, that they're going to go small and they're going to try and run with Bill Crothers in this third quarter.
Just as you say that, Bill Crothers slows it down. They get it into Emmanuel Miller, now into Jaden Koch, puts it in. Nothing but net for 2 points.
And once again, that's an easy finish for Emmanuel Miller when they have no one his length or size that's really giving him any trouble in the paint. And a great find there for the easy bucket.
Shea Brown gets it out to Campbell. Campbell loses it there to Jaden Koch. Koch, he's going to go up for the jam, and we got that on the highlights. Make sure you tune in on our YouTube page later on. You will have a replay of that one, OSBA TV.
I'm loving that plug right now, Kelsey. Make sure you check out OSBA TV where you can see more of us, too. That was shameless. I'm sorry.
Here's Brown up top. Pulls it out, gets it to Paolo. Paolo re-drives right down the middle. The floater is no good. Gets his own offensive rebound, just can't connect. Jaden Koch gets it up to Beckford. Beckford into Smith. Smith is going to be called with the traveling violation. It's going to be Carr ball on the baseline.
That's a good call by the referee, to be perfectly honest, because we saw the easy travel before the contact. And even if you got fouled, unfortunately, if you were the one that violated first, well, that's going to be the call that's going to go against you.
Here's Brown now up top, just over 6:30 left to go in the third. Paolo gets it out to Campbell. It's stolen by Emmanuel Miller, who has been absolutely on fire this third quarter. Gets it out to Smith in the corner. That one just short. Brown grabs that board. Another steal by Jaden Koch, but he finds himself just out of bounds. It's going to stay with Father Henry Carr. 19 seconds on the shot clock.
Unfortunately, Kelsey, one thing I'm noticing here from this Father Henry Carr offense is drive into a wall of white, and then when you have no dribbles left, try and find a shooter. And that's not going to be a strategy. That's a great strategy if you want to get blown out, to be perfectly honest. You have to make sure that not only are you moving, but you're also looking out for your teammates. A lot of heads down, driving into a wall of white, trying to go to the basket, and it's really no surprise why they're not getting calls going against them, because it's great team defense, and they're taking care of the perimeter by intercepting those passes.
Shea Brown gets it knocked out by Jaden Koch. It's going to stay with Father Henry Carr. 19 seconds on the shot clock. Here's Brown up top. Pulls up just inside the three. That would have been a two, but it's picked up by Campbell, and he cleans it up right in the middle of the paint.
And that's what I'm talking about right there. Work off the screens. Even if it's not necessarily a great shot, at least you're giving your teammates an opportunity to get there for the rebounds, Kelsey.
Right off the foot of Steph Smith. He's arguing that one. The referees, I think, are going to talk to each other whether or not it went off Smith's foot or it went off Michael Paolo's foot. They're going to rule that it went right off Smith's foot on the sideline, and it's going to be Father Henry Carr on the baseline. Coach Charles not happy with that call.
Coach Charles, we both know him very well. He's going to fight for every little inch he can get for his team. Just couldn't work out that way.
While we're on the topic here, he did catch me in one of the previous games saying that he played at AI decades and decades ago. And I'm just going to say, for the record here, not decades and decades ago. He's a young guy. I almost thought he was one of the players when I came in here earlier before the game. So I'm sorry, Coach Charles. That one, though, is going to go Colts' way here. They're going to take it on the sideline.
He's got that youthful exuberance about him.
Is that what it is?
Yes.
Exuberance?
Yes.
Is that your word of the day from yesterday?
That was the other one. I'm trying to catch up on my word calendar from this entire week.
All right, guys, it's Colts ball on the sideline. Here's Steph Smith bringing it up for this home team. 20 seconds on the shot clock. Comes off a screen from Lawrence, kicks it over to Emmanuel Miller. Miller drives middle, gets it out to Koch. The extra pass into Beckford. makes it good for a 3-point play.
Smart basketball. You didn't get the ball the way that you wanted it, so you couldn't spot it for the shot. But guess what? You got your teammate wide open on the corner there for the 3.
Shea Brown looking for the answer here, and it's good for 3.
And that's the kind of shot. If you're going to take the shot, that's what you want to do in rhythm.
Steph Smith tries to get that past Michael Palo, showing those long arms are for something. Gets the steal, but can't connect on the other side, but they get it right back. Here's John Akende over to Campbell. Campbell chucks it out to Brown. A big block by Jaden Cope. He got springs in those shoes, goes up, and he's going to be called with the foul. He will go to the charity stripe, Ryan, for 2.
One more thing to say as well, Kelsey. We've seen it now twice. Guys opting to try and rush a shot instead of using your patience, recognizing what your opponents are doing. What we're kind of really seeing here more than anything from Father Henry Carr's offense is a lack of awareness of what the defense is doing. It's a lot of what I need to do as opposed to reacting to what the defense might be doing. Obviously, you set the pace considering you're the ones holding the ball. But if you see the defense doing specific things like launching out to try and block those kind of shots, it's really not that difficult to just put your head up and see what they're doing. If he's flying at you like that.
A little pump fake.
Exactly, right? 2 pump fakes there.
A little Lou Williams. Yep. Just get him off his feet and shoot.
And then hit a 4-point play.
Jaden Coke connects from the foul line. Couple substitutions for both teams. AJ Goulburn is in for BCSS, and it's the new man on the roster, and Dubria making his way back into the game now for Father Henry Carr. Dubria. Over to Griffith now. A big drive from Father Henry Carr is no good. Gareth Bowe gets it out now to Campbell. Campbell with the jumpy. Looked good from here. It's no good, though. A big rebound for Father Henry Carr, and there's going to be a foul on the rebound, actually.
And I actually like that attempt in the basket. You know you got a 6'11" forward that's right behind your back, so to go up and under and show that extension and that athleticism, a very impressive movement there by the Father Henry Carr forward. That is, of course, Shaquan Clark.
Griffith gets it in. Over to Dubria now. Dubria sets something back up. Only 7 seconds on the shot clock. Here's Griffith from up top. Drives on the right-hand side. A little scoop and finger roll is good.
That's a great finish there by Griffith. Fearlessness attacking Cole Lawrence. Understood that Lawrence was on the opposite side of the basket, so he had a little bit of room to work with. Takes the sidestep out and just puts just enough English on that spin to finish in the basket.
You got it. Just under 4 minutes left to go in the third. Jacob Frazier is checked back into the game, as well as number 13, Michael Green, for the first time this game. It's Crusaders ball now on the baseline. They trail 69-43 over the home team here, Bill Crothers Colts. Campbell. A beautiful, patient play by Denier Campbell here. Really takes his time getting by the defender, puts it off the glass with beautiful precision, plus now he'll go to the charity stripe for one more.
Yeah, to build on that, Kelsey, if you're gonna play an isolation style offense, you've got to have that kind of patience like that, like we just saw there. Excellent finish and kiss off the glass.
Campbell, once again off the glass, banks the foul shot. That one worth 1.
I think that's his favorite shot, Kelsey.
He has a special relationship with the backboard, that is for sure. Here's Steph Smith from deep. I thought he was going up. He thought he was passing it into Jacob Frazier. A little miscommunication there, and it's going to go Father Henry Carr way. Here's Campbell on the 45. It's Bowe up top now. Drives, dishes into his teammate. Off the glass is no good. Michael Green just can't connect, but it will stay with the Crusaders on the baseline. 14 on the shot clock.
Bowe, as he was attacking, was expecting Green to cut to the basket because, to be honest, he did have a full lane right there as he was boxing out his opponent. I think just a little bit of more communication is going to be needed there.
Well said, Ryan. It's Crusaders ball now. They get it out to Campbell. Campbell to Dubria. Over now to Griffith. Looks to shoot it, but goes for the drive instead. Dishes out to Bowe. Bowe tries to get it right back, but it bounces out of bounds on the baseline.
Unfortunately, that's a tough pass to make if you're Bowe, especially if you're on one foot and you're kind of off balance. You kind of want to bring it back out a little bit if you don't see anything there. No need to force it, especially with the score being it is right now. You need to make the most of your offensive possessions.
Jaden Koch dishes out to Jacob Frazier. That one, no good. Griffith picks it up. Here's Dubria now. Gets by the defender. He's so quick. But that one, Jacob Frazier is a bit quicker. Gets the steal, puts it up for the jam from Emmanuel Miller.
That is beyond impressive right there. What an athletic finish that was.
Campbell, as he drives, he gets hooked by Jaden Koch. There's going to be a foul there. It'll be Crusaders ball now on the sideline. Griffith in their last matchup against Ridley ended with 20 points. There he is with the ball now at the 45. Going to come off a screen from Green, pulls up for the mid-range. Nothing but net on that one. It's good to bring them to 48.
That's the shot that Griffith lives for. A little bit open look there.
Beckford goes up. There's no foul call on that one. Coach Charles really not happy with that one. And Beckford not even getting up, being like, are you serious, ref? But it's just an out-of-bounds call. It's going to be Colts ball on the baseline. They're all kind of just like laughing, saying, how is that not a foul? It's going to be a travel call there, though, and it will go to the Crusaders with just under 2.5 minutes left to go in the third.
Crusaders getting a break here. See if they can try and put a dent in this lead, make the most of it.
Bo up top. Couple crossovers. Loses it to Jaden Koch, and there is going to be a foul there.
And Bo, unfortunately, there, that's kind of one of those things there where if you're going to set up your defender like that, you got to have one move and straight to the basket. Bringing it into traffic is never a good idea, especially with a team that has as many active hands as Bill Crothers. Isolate that outside and drive to the basket. Otherwise, just pass it off.
He gets subbed out quickly for a quick water break. Michael Paolo makes his way back in. Dubria with the big steal. I always call his defense a bit pesky, and you can see why there. Gets it out now to Griffith. Back to Dubria. He pulls up from beyond that. FIBA three. No good. Big board by Goulburn. Jacob Frazier, a little Euro step. That one can't connect. Dubria gets it right back out to Paolo. Paolo drives, dishes into Griffith. He gets it back out to Dubria. A pass out to Campbell now has him re-driving, and there's going to be a foul there on Jacob Frazier. It'll be Crusaders ball on the sideline.
Once again, I'm impressed with the tenacity of Father Henry Carr, but unfortunately it just doesn't seem like they're all really on the same page right now offensively. Guys are attacking the basket with other guys nowhere to be found that are attacking as well at the same time. There's really no open cuts we're looking at. We're also not necessarily seeing anyone spotting up at a specific position to get ready for a shot. It just seems to be a lot of kick and drive. Unfortunately, the kick, the drive is into a white wall, and the kick is really to nowhere because no one's really getting an opportunity to get set up. It just seems like everyone's on a hyperactive kind of. It's like basically holding down the right trigger in 2K. Everyone's just attacking the basket, not really looking to see where they want to go.
The red trigger.
The right trigger. That right trigger where the turbo boost.
Here's Campbell now at the line. He finished the last game with 14. Connects from the foul shot for this one. Father Henry Carr has that right trigger on now on defense as well. Get the Colts a little bit flustered here. Dubria gets the steal.
That's it. That's that tenacity I'm talking about. It works for them on defense. They just got to...
Griffith from the corner. It's good.
Give them the shooter's bounce.
There's a timeout now called by the Colts. Ryan, is that right trigger working in their favor now?
The right trigger works when you have a shooter ready to take the shot, and that's the most important thing. They've got to try and set up some sort of semblance of offense. They've got to allow their players to get into their hot zones, if you will. And that was a spot right there. That's something that Clytus Griffin, he lives for that kind of shot in that corner. And it shows by getting the friendly roll right there, Kelsey.
All right, guys, 1 minute, 17 seconds left to go in the third. The Bill Crothers Colts are leading the way 71-53 over the Father Henry Carr Crusaders. We'll be right back. Welcome back to OSBA TV. It is Colts ball on the baseline after a big bucket from Henry Carr. 1 minute, 17 seconds left to go in the third quarter.
And really, Kelsey, if these guys can continue with this defense that we've been seeing so far in this third quarter, they have a shot. They do have a shot. They just have to make sure they're making the most of their offensive opportunities.
There's going to be a foul called there on number 22 of Bill Crothers. That's Justice Prentice on the trap, and it's going to be Dubria who will go to the line now. It is Father Henry Carr, or sorry, other way around. Am I confused? Justice Prentice will go to the line for 2, and that one will go to Dubria on the double.
I'll be honest, Kelsey, I didn't say a word because I was like, no, she'll figure it out. She'll see what happened. I have faith in my broadcast partner.
Prentice nails it from the foul line. Second one is good as well. Michael Paolo brings it out now to Dubria, playing the PG for this visiting team. McNish at the 45. They swing it now all the way right back into McNish. Pump fakes, but a big block there by Emmanuel Miller. And a steal goes to Jaden Koch. Here's a 3-on-1 now. Able to connect. Prentice just could not do it. Great defense there by Henry Carr.
Absolutely, and even a great defense there by Jaden Koch as well. He's one of the best at this league and pickpocketing guys because of that length of his.
Dubria in the corner, drives middle, gets it out to Griffith. He pulls up from beyond the 3. It's just long.
And that's some great coverage there by Miller. Hand right in the face on that shot.
Goulburn for the mid-range. It's good for 2. Emmanuel Miller making a scare quickly on Griffith there, but he's able to get it up now over to Paolo. Paolo drives middle. Another big block by Emmanuel Miller.
Once again, Emmanuel Miller showing off that athleticism that we've seen so consistently, specifically in that month of February. And I keep going back to it because, to be perfectly honest, that was kind of his coming out party that whole month.
And it's bleeding now over to March, having quite a night for him right now at the half. He had 15 points. He scored a whole lot since then. Plus, add those 2 recent blocks to his stat line as well.
Absolutely. When you've got length, I mean, just straight length like Bill Crothers has, they become a problem for just about any team. I mean, these are guys that whether they're shooting, we've got a shooting guard in Jaden Koch guarding the paint right now and getting a couple of nasty blocks as a result of it, and also showing it off on the perimeter by getting a couple of great steals on guys literally half his size. It's something you don't necessarily come across every day.
Well said, Ryan. That foul, though, will go to Jaden Koch. Cole Lawrence will come onto the floor if McNish sinks this one. McNish is just short, but able to get the offensive rebound is Campbell. But that's going to be the end of the third quarter. 75-53 for the Colts.
And one thing we're just going to say, one lasting thought right now, Father Henry Carr near the end of that quarter starting to get some semblance of a set offense and getting some decent shots off as a result of it. But unfortunately, Bill Crothers, they're stemming the tide and they're continuing to do what they do best, and that's run the floor and to be perfectly honest, doing a great job as well in their half-court offense, setting up for open shots and attacking the rim, and just that aggressiveness that we've seen from both teams. It's really just been favoring Bill Crothers for the most part so far in this game.
All right, guys, make sure you stay tuned for fourth quarter action. We will be right back. It is fourth quarter action here on OSBA TV. 10 more minutes of basketball. The Colts right now are leading the way 75-53 over the Father Henry Carr Crusaders, and it's going to be Colts ball out of bounds to start this one off. Here's Cordell Charles bringing it out for this home team. Gets it into Jaden Koch here. Just inches away from that half-court line there, able to get up now. Tries to hand it off over to Jacob Frazier. Great defense by Father Henry Carr. Andrea Scandrea hasn't played much, hasn't played at all actually in this second half. Chucks it up from beyond the arc there, and it's just off the mark. Michael Paolo looking to show him how it's done, and it's nothing but net there.
And that's what it is. Paolo's strength is taking those shots when he's set. It's when he starts trying to fade away or do unnecessary stuff when he starts missing those.
That one is good. The Colts now at 77.
And this actually started the same way we started the third quarter, Kelsey, with a make and a make.
3. Here's Griffith now. Kicks it out to Campbell. Tries to go for another 3, but that one is no good. Cole Lawrence rebounds.
And that's what it is. That's one of those few times that a penetration resulted in a kick out.
Charles goes up there. That one just can't connect as Coach Charles show him exactly what he should do. Keep that ball high, come down with 2 feet, go right back up, but he'll be rewarded this time with a trip to the line.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one of the more important things that you can learn at this level is just the importance of keeping your hands high even if you miss, because odds are you're going to have a little bit more energy than most guys around you, and it's going to be easier for you to finish than it is going to be for them to block, especially if you keep it high.
Charles connects for both. 9 minutes exactly left to go in the game. Dubria gets it up to Griffith. He drives middle. And there's going to be a foul there on number 18, Cordell Charles.
I'll be honest, at this point, if you want someone to run the offense, I'd give the ball to Griffith because he's the only one that seems to be, at this point, able to successfully attack the paint and kick it out for open shots. Everybody else has been losing the ball up until this point.
Substitution now in for Father Henry Carr. For the first time this game, it's Tondre Morse making his way onto the floor, and Campbell will take a quick breather on the bench. I am almost positive we'll see him again, Ryan, in this fourth.
Absolutely, yep. Well said.
Griffith connects from the line. Here's Jacob Frazier. Frazier over to Scandrea. Picks up his dribble right back to Frazier now. 16 seconds on the shot clock.
It's a shame there. If Scandrea didn't have his feet a little bit closer together, he may have been able to get a shot off there.
But he'll do it here. Slings it up. That one no good. Jaden Koch able to finish it underneath.
That was a fantastic pass by Scandrea right to Koch, right under the basket, even off the backboard.
They practice those, I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm certain of it.
Here's Griffith. Drives all the way from one end to the other. Gets it out now to Morse. Kicks it out to Dubria. The extra pass to Michael Paolo. Puts it up. No good. Cole Lawrence, another big board.
Once again, we got Father Henry Carr at this point kind of settling for those open threes or contested threes. It doesn't really matter which one it is. They're going to try and chuck it up and see what happens.
There's an out-of-bounds call there on Jacob Frazier. It's going to go a Father Henry Carr ball. 24 seconds on the shot clock. Just over 8 minutes left to go in the game. McNish gets it under the basket, though. Kicks it out. Now it's in the hands of Morse. He drives. Pulls up off the glass is good.
Very impressive finish there, creating enough space and kissing it off the glass. Not a move many players can do at this level.
Jaden Koch squeaks by his defenders, tries to get it over to the shooter in the corner. Scandrea just can't grab that one. Crusaders ball.
And when a ball's coming at you at that velocity, Kelsey, trying to catch it with one hand is never really a good idea.
Shea Brown. That one wasn't the fastest, wasn't the quickest, but definitely was the smoothest, and it shows with 2 points. Jaden Koch, a little hop step there just off the back of the rim, a big board by Charles, and there's going to be a foul called there on Dubria.
And unfortunately, one thing that's the downside of the press, if the press is broken and you've got 3 guys already up here, you're almost guaranteed an offensive board here when you've only got 3 guys compared to 5 white shirts. Hence the putback and the foul.
going to be Colts ball now on the baseline as John Akende makes his way back on for the visiting Crusaders. Great defense there by Griffith, but the gym is just a little bit too narrow there, so it goes right out of bounds. It's going to be Colts ball up top.
But even if you're the coach of the Crusaders right now, you want to see that kind of tenacity on defense, because that's the only way that you're going to get yourself back in it.
Jaden Koch off the back rim. John Akende pushing it for this visiting team, gets it over to Griffith. Back to Akende. Up to Shea Brown, chucks it up from real deep. It's just short.
You can imagine that's not the play that head coach of Father Henry Carr was expecting.
Coach Melnick not looking too upset though. Happy now that it's Morse on the fast break with the jam.
Impressive finish there by Moore. See if Father Henry Carr can get another one. They're on a 6-0 run right now.
They're pressing right now. Jacob Frazier gets caught in the double team, throws it right out of bounds. Coach Melnick has put in this press almost, I'd probably say, a little bit late, Ryan, because they're making a comeback now with 6:30 left to go on the clock.
Absolutely, they are. And really, if there's one thing that Father Henry Carr does have, it's athletes that can run the floor. So it's not even necessarily like he has to let up this press for the entirety of the fourth quarter, because he can sub guys in. It's just finding out who's going to be aware enough to be able to continue this tough defense that they've put up right now.
Griffith launches. That one's good.
Clythus Griffith, set, shot, impressive finish, and there's the steal by Griffith.
Gets it to Shea Brown. Brown almost looked like he could have connected that one off the backboard, but it's just a bit short. He will go to the charity stripe 4-2. Ryan, we always say no lead is safe. Is it going to be a game here?
Let's hope so, really, because right now I'm loving the tenacity from Father Henry Carr. The real challenge now for them, especially for their coaching staff, is going to be who do you see starting to get a little bit tired, because that's going to happen. Guys are going to get tired playing at this pace for the entirety of a 10-minute quarter, and you've got to kind of pick and choose who is it that's going to be ready to come into the game and continue that intensity that's been continuing throughout the entirety of this quarter that's gotten them as close as they have up until this point.
I think Shea Brown might have hit his head there. He's kind of putting his fingers in his jersey to his mouth looking for blood, but looks like it's all good. He is going to go to the line. You can see his tongue kind of licking the front of his teeth there, so I think there might be a little bit of blood there, but he's keeping it all in. He goes to the line now 4-2. Could bring his team to 69. First one is good. Ryan, it's not that big of a lead right now.
No, it isn't, and if there's one thing that this team on Father Henry Carr has, they got killers. They got guys who are willing to step up and hit those big shots if they need to. They just need to be able to work together consistently to be able to give themselves that opportunity.
Emmanuel Miller taking things into his own hands. He goes coast to coast for the and one basket. Miller having quite a night tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And unfortunately, you don't want that setup with McNish on Miller, because Miller is just way too long, way too quick for those. You have to guard as a team. And as soon as you see the Red Sea open up like that, you gotta put your pride to the side. You got to say, no, it doesn't matter if you wind up on a poster or not. You got to try and find a way to foul that guy and prevent that basket from happening rather than just grabbing his arm.
Foul shot's good. They're now at 84. Shea Brown drives, goes up and under. There's going to be another foul call here. This one is going to go to Jaden Koch.
And once again, there's that tenacity that Father Henry Carr has from all of their players. We've seen, you've got a lot of guys here that are not afraid to take it to the basket against bigger guys. They're used to it on a regular basis. The entire lineup right now we have with Moore, McNish, Brown, Akende, and Griffith. Every single one of these guys at some point has walked through the forest and has came out with a silver axe and a few logs to show for it. So don't expect these guys to let up anytime soon by attacking the paint.
Brown rounds it off now to 70. Just over 6 minutes left to go. Father Henry Carr still in that press. And there we go, it works. Rushing the offense sometimes leads to poor decision making. You can see there right out of bounds. Father Henry Carr will get that possession back right before the half court mark. They're only down now by 14, still 6 minutes left to go.
Yeah, absolutely. And once again, this is some mastery right now of Coach Melnick. Really choosing, I feel like at this point, the right kind of guys he wants on the floor.
There's an off-ball foul here on Tadre Morse before the ball went in. He's going to be called with that foul, so it is going to go to Colts.
That's a tough break right now for Father Henry Carr.
It's a technical foul there, Ryan.
They had so much good momentum going for them right now, cutting this lead down from 20 to 14. And it looks like we're going to get Jalen Menzies in this game as well. Another very tenacious guy. He's a Dubria type of player. He can hit those big shots when he needs to, and he's incredibly quick. But most importantly, he arguably is probably the best on-ball defender on this team.
Let's see. They need that on-ball defender right now with this press that they're running. They got to get that kind of pesky defense back out here, get the dribbler to have bad decisions coming up, kind of rush it exactly like they did last time.
Absolutely, especially if there's no Stephen Smith on the floor. You got to make the most of that and make sure that...
No Jamal Mayali.
Yep.
Yeah.
No ball handlers. No like known ball handlers. Let's put it that way. It's not their strong suit, I guess you
Jacob
could say.
Frazier is not too shabby, though. Kicks it out here to Beckford. Back out to Emmanuel Miller now. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Emmanuel Miller will get a little bit of a head start here. Goes up for Cole Lawrence, but it slips through those popcorn fingers. Griffith over to Akende. Akende hands it off now to Brown. Brown sees the opening. It's taken away there by Jaden Koch. He pulls up for the deep three. It's good.
And that's what it's all about, though. If you can get your feet set and get right behind that shot. Not the greatest shot I'm sure Coach would hope for, but Shea Brown, like I said, they got killers on this team that can knock down those shots.
Emmanuel Miller over to Beckford. Beckford now right back to Jaden Koch, and Shea Brown will be called with that foul. Not a shooting foul. It's just going to be possession now on the sideline. Oh, sorry, it is a shooting foul. Now they've officially reached 5. So for the rest of this 5 minutes, every single foul, Bill Crothers is going to go to the line.
And that's a tough break for Shea Brown because, honestly, he timed it almost perfectly, but it wasn't perfect enough. If Jaden Koch had shifted his right shoulder a little bit more towards Brown as he had went in for that steal, that's not a foul anymore. That's a pickpocket. But unfortunately, Brown reached just a little bit too early there. Thus, the body contact was apparent. That's why you get your foul.
87-73, 5 minutes left to go. John Akende looking to go coast to coast, and there's going to be another foul. This is just a foul kind of game, Ryan, as Akende now goes back to the line for 2.
This is clearly a war of attrition at this point here where Father Henry Carr has decided we're just going to attack to the basket every single time. We've recognized that the ref is calling it every single time, so why not go to the free throw line?
Do what works until it changes,
exactly.
right?
And not only that, you're giving your guys who've been playing such a tough press defense an opportunity to catch a breath, and that's so huge for these guys right now.
Akende rounds it off now to 75, just over 5 minutes left to go. Henry Carr still showing this press. Jaden Koch now gets it out to Cole Lawrence to an open Jawan Beckford. He's able to connect for 2.
That one's got to hurt for Father Henry Carr. They had a couple opportunities there to get the turnover, just not happening.
Shea Brown goes off that one, no good. Cole Lawrence rebounds.
I understand why Brown wanted to do that, but here we go.
Lawrence right into the hands of Griffith. He slips on that one, and it's right back out to Emmanuel Miller.
Travel.
Miller is going to be called with the traveling violation before that big dunk.
And unfortunately, though, that's one thing. If you're Father Henry Carr, if you're attacking the rim, you cannot lay back. You have to drive that shoulder in when you're going to the basket. That's what's been getting you to the line. As soon as you lay back, the referees aren't going to call that because that shows you trying to avoid contact.
There's a foul here on John Akende, holding the shorts of Jawan Beckford, and he's going to grab that foul. Dubria will come out for him now.
And I think that he's lucky he didn't get a technical there.
Kind of brushing another Bill Crothers player. But he's going to go to the bench now. Coach Melnick having a quick word with him here, and it's going to be Colts ball now on the sideline. Beckford drives right. The scoop is no good. It's actually put in by a Father Henry Carr player there, but it's still good for 91 points. Griffith drives the reverse, just short. Emmanuel Miller now trying to calm his team down, putting that hand up, saying, you know what, guys, we got to chill out a little bit. He gets it out to Jaden Koch. Koch pulls up from beyond the 3. That one's good.
Unfortunately, the wheels seem to have kind of came off a little bit now for Father Henry Carr. after that foul at this point.
Back to a 19-point lead here. Emmanuel Miller now on the fast break, goes up for the huge jam.
And it just looks like Father Henry Carr, their players are going to try and do it themselves every time, and they're paying for it. You've got to do it together.
Another foul called down here, Father Henry Carr. This time we'll go to the line for 2. Ryan, the fouls do stop at 5 on the scoreboard. I'm curious to see how many fouls have actually been called in this quarter.
No, it's a very good point, Kelsey. I mean, once again, we're seeing Father Henry Carr, and they've been working it to perfection up until this point, just attacking the basket the way that they should have. But unfortunately, a couple rolls don't go their way. Cooler heads, unfortunately, did not prevail. And those last couple of offensive sets, as you could clearly see that some of the players were trying to just do it themselves, and that's not what got them up until this point. It was by moving the basketball and attacking the rim. It wasn't by trying to force up unnecessary shots, and Bill Crothers took full advantage of that. Not only did they take full advantage of it, but you cannot do that to a team like this. You cannot do it to a team that's 9-1 that can simply just lob the ball up, and they've got the athleticism to throw it down every time. And that is the exact reason why Father Henry Carr is everything that they just worked for just evaporated in an instant there as a 9-0 run by Bill Crothers has almost all but probably put this game away if Father Henry Carr doesn't pull something up.
21-point lead here the Colts have over the Crusaders. 3 minutes, 38 seconds left to go. Ryan, you said it very, very well there. I mean, it was in a 10-point range. 12-point
lead. That's all it was. And now it's back to 21. That's all it takes against a team like this. You have to be
within
disciplined.
2 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. You've got to be disciplined. You have to be able to say, okay, let's keep our emotions in check because we're facing, you're facing one of the top teams in the league. They're going to take advantage of every mistake you make, as you've clearly seen up until this point. You had to play almost perfect defense up until this point to even get yourself within 10 points. And then by playing like that, by once again just trying to do it yourself and giving up on the defensive end and giving up the transition buckets.
But I mean, giving up transition buckets is part of pressing. You gotta be okay with giving away something when you're doubling something. So I feel like that one's not one that they're gonna carry harshly. It might just be the fouls and not getting quite close enough when they're doubling. They're allowing those passes out.
No, absolutely, it's a very good point. And then also things like
Foul
that,
shots.
missing free throws.
McNish able to keep it in, though. Gets that offensive rebound out to Shea Brown. Launches from beyond the arc, just short. Another offensive rebound for McNish. Shea Brown once again up top. This time, not going to settle for the jumper. He's going to drive, and like we've seen time and time before in this game, there's a foul called, and he's going to go to the charity stripe for another 2.
And Brown, really, I'll be honest, I think he got away with one there because it almost looked like that could have went either way. That could have been a travel or it could have been a foul.
Got the foul call now, and he's at the line now for 2 shots. The first one is good. Brings it within 19 now. 3.5 minutes left to go. Brown is 2 for 2 from the line. Just under 3.5. Here's Emmanuel Miller. A great steal there by Shea Brown. Just kind of complacency on offense there by the Colts, but they get it out real quick here, and it's a 3-on-2. Cole Lawrence looking to back in McNish. Gets it out now to Koch. Back up to Miller. 13 seconds on the shot clock. Another steal by Shea Brown. Brown means business tonight. Drives all the way, puts it up. It's no good. Jaden Koch rebounds.
Fortunately, Shea Brown, a fantastic job on defense there. Unfortunately, trying, I think, a little bit too hard to do it himself on offense. Results in the turnover.
There's going to be a foul called there on McNish, and it's going to be Jaden Koch now who goes to the line. Foul after foul for this one. A 16-point game, just under 3 minutes left to go. Koch was the high scorer of this team last game they played on February 22nd against Thornley. Ended the game, Ryan, with 30 points. A bunch of guys on this team have just put up a bunch of 30-plus point games, and it's quite impressive.
Really, to build on that, this is a team that knows what they are. They're not afraid to feed the hot hand. If they see that something's working for them, they're going to use it to the fullest.
McNish. I would have called that a jam if it went in. Unfortunately, no good, but it's cleaned up here by number 0, Jalen Menzies.
Menzies, once again, he's that guy. He doesn't care what the situation is or what it calls for. He'll be ready to play.
Frazier being double teamed, gets it over to the open man. Jaden Koch releases from deep. A bit short on that one. 2 minutes, 30 seconds left to go in the game.
I want to bring up one thing very quickly there. Once again, who is it there that's boxing out, preventing the opportunity for a second chance for Bill Crothers? It's Jalen Menzies.
A big block by Jaden Koch knocks it out of bounds. Crusaders ball now on the baseline, 17 on the shot clock.
Unfortunately, Clythus Griffith, he's a set shooter. He knows what he is, but unfortunately took too much time that time around.
Brown just can't connect on that one. Jaden Koch right into the hands of Brown. Brown, give him the and one if he makes this basket. That one will go to Jaden Koch. Ryan, so many fouls.
And Father Henry Carr just refuses to go away, and this is an impressive showing right now by Shea Brown specifically. Steal after steal, finish after finish at the rim, making up for the earlier mistakes. I mean,
he's at least got 5 steals in this last quarter.
Yeah, definitely. And it's when you can see a player that, he's understanding the mistakes that he had made before and kind of making up for it now in his defense. You're not seeing any lack of hustle from any of these guys on this floor. As frustrated as they were just a few minutes ago, it really seems like Father Henry Carr has done an excellent job of refocusing and re-engaging themselves into what they know they need to do to win this game.
Very well said, Ryan. Now 2 minutes, 12 seconds on the clock.
And that's what it is, Kelsey. You've got to believe that you can still win this game. That's the only reason you can see you can still see the hustle in these players, is that they believe they still have a shot at this.
And they do. Only a 13-point lead now.
13-point lead. We've seen 9
it's not
points.
13.
10. Yeah. Well, we've seen 9 points put up on the board in a matter of 20 seconds. By creating turnovers and easy buckets. It's part of the reason why Bill Crothers has almost 100 points in this game. A lot of it is off of those transition buckets.
And foul shots.
And very much so, yes. Foul shots and timely threes.
Shea Brown now at the line. The ref has put 2 seconds back onto the game clock. It's at 2:14. Shea Brown at the line for 2. Brown sinks it. Give him a 3-point play now. And another steal by Griffith. Father Henry Carr's defense been absolutely on fire in this last few minutes.
I'm very impressed with this setup right now. The only big man here is McNish, and McNish is generously 6'4". But look at this defense.
That one's lucky there. Beckford picks it up, gets right past the double team, puts it out to Emmanuel Miller. 2 minutes on the clock. Emmanuel Miller almost gets it stolen once again by guess who?
By Shea Brown.
Shea Brown. It's going to be called a kickball, though, so it will stay with the Colts. 14 seconds on the shot clock.
And that's it. You want those if you're going to do a kickball or anything like that, at least you're killing time off the shot clock.
They actually get it reset to 14.
No, but at least it's down to 14.
Beckford releases for a big 3. They've hit the 100 mark. If we were at a Raptors game, everyone would get free pizza. That one just won't connect from the top 4. Brown, 1:40 on the clock.
You got to give him credit for the guts.
On the other end, here's Cole Lawrence. It's Griffith now with a fast break. He gets it to fall, plus there's a foul there on Emmanuel Miller. And one after and one here for both teams as we move under the 1.5-minute mark.
That is nothing short of an impressive move there. When you've got a 6'1" guard trying to go up against the guy of Emmanuel Miller's length and height, especially when he's going for the basketball, and to be able to finish, that's just an impressive finish. And he makes good on the free throw.
Beckford double teamed here, and there's a foul called. I thought maybe it would be a jump ball there, but of course I was wrong. There's going to be another foul, and it's going to be Juwan Beckford, who goes to the charity stripe now for another 2. Could bring his team, Ryan, to 102.
Yeah, definitely so. And I can imagine if Father Henry Carr is really going to feel the sting of this one if they end up coming up short. Really, they were doing great cutting down that lead. And it was that quick 9-point run by Bill Crothers that has given them just enough cushion, because you take away that run by Bill Crothers, and this is a 1-2-point game. No doubt about it.
Ryan, we mentioned this earlier in the broadcast. The last time these two teams matched up, it was 111-100, a very high-scoring game. A little bit lower here today as Griffith puts another 2 onto the scoreboard, making it 90. But, I mean, these two teams are not lacking scorers.
No, absolutely not. Once again, you got a bunch of killers here. Here we go. We're going to see it one more time, possibly.
Menzies goes up. No foul call on that one. Griffith goes back to back for 4 points.
Griffith right there. I like that take by Menzies, though.
It's back to 10 points. We're just under 1 minute. Shea Brown could have gotten another steal there. His defense is absolutely incredible to watch here in the last 5 minutes of the fourth.
I'll be honest, Kelsey, you know, it's no secret to you personally, but I'm a huge fan of both of these teams, and I'm just loving the tenacity on defense and the lack of quit in both of these teams so far.
Another steal by Shea Brown. He's a thief in this one. Goes up and puts it in for 2 points. It's now an 8-point game.
He might get a double-double just off of steals, Kelsey.
That's what I'm saying. Delay of game
warning. He's got to have at least 7.
Yeah, delay of game warning here for Father Henry Carr. It's going to be Colts ball on the baseline. 41.6 on the clock. And Ryan, we asked for it. It is a game here. Just 8 points. 102-94. Father Henry Carr almost triples the dribbler there. Almost a steal from Dubria. But it is going to be called out of bounds by that baseline ref. It's going to stay with the Colts. 16 seconds on the shot clock.
And one thing that Father Henry Carr is doing incredibly well right now, they're not allowing Bill Crothers to establish a dribble.
Great defense there by McNish. Colts ball on the baseline. 13 seconds now on the shot clock. 30.6 seconds in the game clock. Beckford with it and one.
That's a tough roll right there. Great finish there by Beckford. Takes the contact, rolls it. Beckford, give Beckford the MVP of this fourth quarter for Bill Crothers. Whenever they've needed a bucket, he's stepped up.
He connects there, brings the lead back to 11 now with 26 seconds left to go. Here's Shea Brown, the fourth quarter all-star for the other team as Griffith checks it up from beyond the arc. Menzies keeps it in. Now goes out of bounds, Colts ball.
Yep, and I think that's just about going to do it now. A hell of an effort there from Father Henry Carr at the end. But Bill Crothers is going to walk away with a much-deserved victory by establishing that lead in the beginning and holding on. And really, Juwan Beckford, like I said, I think he's my MVP of this game. Just some huge shots down the stretch to keep Bill Crothers at arm's length away from Father Henry Carr.
Well said, Ryan. At the end of this one, 105-94. Bill Crothers over Father Henry Carr. They go 2-0 over Henry Carr. They now move to a 10-1 record, still tied for first. Father Henry Carr now moves to 5-10. They're now in that 8th position.
And unfortunately, you know, closing thoughts of this game, it was just about as what we expected, Kelsey. A lot of athleticism, a lot of moving up and down the court, a lot of contested jump shots, and a lot of impressive highlights in this game. But nonetheless, an excellent effort by both teams. And Bill Crothers, give it to them. They deserve the win.
All right, guys, thank you for tuning in. Make sure you tune in again next week on Tuesday. It's a doubleheader. AI and Orangeville Prep will both take on 2 different teams at home. You'll get to watch Father Henry Carr once again take on Orangeville. Guys, we'll see you next week.
Take care.